Alright lads, it is the Meta Goblin here. Today we're doing a very unique review of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, this review is going to highlight the similarities between both of the plot lines of both A New Hope, Star Wars Episode 4, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, before we jump into it, I'd like you to know that I am not saying that they're completely the same, because they're not. And I'm not saying it's a bad film in any way. But nonetheless, I think there is some quite severe similarities between both of these films, and I think it's worth actually highlighting. And just quickly before we begin, there will be spoilers in this video, so don't watch it obviously if you haven't watched the film yet. So both of the films open to two characters, either Rey or Luke Skywalker. They are both kind of poor, only scratching a living, and they are somehow destined to become a Jedi and discover the Force, and they're also both on a desert planet. Now, the main difference is about Luke Skywalker really wants to get off the planet, but Rey has some kind of tie to the planet. We don't really fully understand what it is right now, but we guess that's going to be revealed later. But eventually they end up getting off the planet. And then, fair enough, Han Solo and Chewbacca, they help Luke Skywalker get off the planet. But don't help Rey and Finn get off the planet. However, later on they meet, and they're both on the Mos Eisley again. So you've got the same kind of group of characters, and these two characters, Han Solo and Chewbacca, they help Rey and Finn further on in the plot. Let's just put those characters to the side for a moment. Both of these films, open with a scene of stormtroopers storming some kind of base. So in A New Hope we got Darth Vader, who is the main antagonist, being revealed as the dark Sith kind of dude, and he is raiding this. It's Mos. What is it called? Tantive, some Tantive number. It's basically a rebel spaceship, and they are trying to obtain. I think it's a blueprint of the Death Star that the rebels have stolen, and they're trying to get it back. And so basically, it's the same kind of thing. It's an important piece of information. And in The Force Awakens, you've got, what's this bloke's name? Kylo Ren. You've got him trying to obtain the map to Luke Skywalker, so another important information, and he ransacks a base. No, not a base, it's like a camp, isn't it? Kind of like a tribal camp, and he kills a load of innocents and all this kind of thing. In A New Hope, they take Princess Leia captive, probably the most important and significant character on that spaceship. And on The Force Awakens, they take this pilot by the name of Poe Dameron to torture for information. So basically, they're exactly the same. And then later in the plot, we have a situation where Rey discovers Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, just like Luke Skywalker discovered his father's lightsaber. I mean, they're two very similar things also happening. And then there's a rescue mission. So you've got Luke Skywalker and Harrison Ford and Chewbacca and Ben Kenobi. They try to rescue Princess Leia. And then you've also got Rey. No, you haven't got Rey. You've got Finn and Han Solo trying to rescue Rey. So basically, two situations where they're trying to rescue some kind of female character. So you got this rescuing thing, also quite a significant similarity. And then probably the most obvious similarity between both films is this reincarnation of the Death Star. Now, I know it's not called a Death Star, I forgot the complete name of it, but basically it's a Death Star. It's a bigger and better Death Star, and Kel Surprise, it has some kind of weak spot plainly in sight, and it is incredibly, well, not easy, but there is some kind of method to shoot it from the outside to damage it. And so you get a situation where Han Solo and Finn go onto the Death Star to sabotage it in some way, which is kind of like when Ben Kenobi sabotages the tractor beam on the Death Star. And then you've also got a situation where two groups of fighter pilots attack the Death Star, attack its weak spot. There's even a point where on The Force Awakens they're going down some kind of tunnel kind of area to damage the weak spot, which is exactly the same as A New Hope. And this weak spot is just plainly in sight for anyone to just see and shoot at. There's also a situation where the Death Star is going to destroy the Rebel base with its new super cannon, and they're charging the super cannon, and in a certain amount of time this planet is going to get destroyed, the Rebel base, which is just exactly like Yavin 4, and they're trying to align themselves with the planet. So there's a time limit before their rebel base is going to be destroyed, and they're trying to rescue themselves, save themselves by destroying the Death Star. So it's exactly the same. And then obviously everything goes their way. The good conquer evil. Yeah, which always just seems to happen, which is a little boring in my opinion. But anyway, you also get the situation at the end where not Ren, I'm getting all these characters wrong. Is it Rey? When Rey finds some kind of mentor, some Jedi mentor who's going to teach her to become a better Jedi, which is basically the same as Luke Skywalker finding Yoda. But anyway, I hope I've highlighted these kind of similarities, and hopefully I haven't ruined the film for you too much. I'm actually quite distressed about the film. It's such a really good film. You know, it's a really good film, and if this this plot, if A New Hope didn't exist, it would probably be one of the best films of all time. But New Hope does exist, and it's just kind of cringy when you see all these similarities. And it's when I was watching it, I was just like, hang on, that happened in A New Hope. That's a little disappointing. Couldn't you come up with something new? I think it would have been a better outlook to focus this new trilogy outside of the old trilogies, so set it 1,000 years later or 1,000 years earlier. And but really the only reason why they've done this is so they can get all the old actors in and create more of an appeal to the film by having all the old actors in and Luke Skywalker in the new films. And really they should have just started from scratch, and I think it would have been better for them. I understand there's going to be some spin-off films which are going to do that. Maybe these spin-off films are going to be even better. I hope they are still doing that. Anyway, just the last thing to mention, there's some great acknowledgements to the expanded universe. So basically the fan fiction. You have this Supreme Commander, the Supreme dude, Lord Sith. He's this big, moldy looking guy. And this was kind of like it was revealed in the 3rd episode of the prequels, and it was just a line where Darth Sidious mentions this guy called Darth Plagueis, who he's like probably one of the most evil Sith of all time. Really, I mean, you could have just viewed that as a line that Darth Sidious would have used, Palpatine would have used to convince Anakin to join the dark side, and that's what I believed for a long time. I didn't believe there was any other Sith. I just believed it was a fake story to convince Anakin. But now there's some kind of confirmation that there is other Sith other than Palpatine, that he wasn't the last Sith. There's more Sith out there in some kind of ethereal force as well. Not like maybe this guy isn't even a physical guy. It's just some kind of magical apparition. There's also mentioned that Luke Skywalker trained Jedi after the 6th film, and it's I think it's touched on in some comics which I haven't read because I don't really read the expanded universe that much. But yeah, there is something. There's the acknowledgement of that. But anyway, lads, this video is probably getting ridiculously long. My name is the Meta Goblin, and until my next video, ciao.